Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's What's for Dinner video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. Now, I mentioned in last week's video that my husband and I both tested positive for the C word. So you'll notice in this video, a couple of nights we ate out. I just did not have it in me to cook. And then a couple other nights we just did really simple dinners. But I'll show you what we had. Let's get into these dinners. For dinner this night, we DoorDashed hibachi from a local restaurant. We were supposed to do a big steak dinner over at my mom and dad's house this night to celebrate my husband's birthday. But again, with us positive, we nixed that. But I still kind of wanted to celebrate a little bit. So like I said, we just did takeout. My husband got the steak, shrimp, and chicken hibachi. I got the steak and shrimp. And of course, it came with the fried rice, vegetables, yum yum sauce, and the soup and salad. And that was our dinner this night. And the great thing about ordering this was we had plenty of leftovers for lunch the next day. So that meant I did not have to cook. For dinner the next night, I tried a new recipe for buttermilk pancakes. This is from Fallon over at Moss Family TV. I'll link the recipe in the description box below. To get started, I'm going to cook up some bacon. Now, you can cook your bacon however you like. I really prefer to cook it in the oven. I hate frying it on top of the stove. It pops everywhere and the grease goes everywhere. So what I just do is lay out a couple of wire racks over a cookie sheet. I lay my bacon out. I pop that into an oven and I allow it to just, cook while the oven preheats. And then I cook it for maybe another 5 to 10 minutes after the oven lets me know that it preheats. How long it cooks really depends on how thick your bacon is and how you like it done. I like mine done pretty crispy, so I normally will take my husband's out and then put the pan back in the oven and cook mine for a couple more minutes. Now, this pancake recipe was really easy to put together. I did half the recipe, by the way. So in this bowl, I'm going to add in my egg and whisk that up just a little bit. And then I'm going to add all of the other ingredients. So I'm adding buttermilk, flour, sugar, oil, baking powder, vanilla, and salt. And then I'm going to stir it until it's well combined. And while I do that, I wanted to make sure to thank you all. I had so many of you comment here on YouTube or send me messages on Instagram, checking in on us, seeing how we're doing, offering your prayers and well wishes. And my husband Gary and I really, really appreciate it. He is feeling quite a bit better. Today's Saturday. He tested negative today and Thursday. I'm still positive, but I did get sick a couple days after he did. So I can tell that I'm getting better, but I still kind of feel like crud. You can probably hear it in my voice, so I apologize if I sound hoarse or out of breath. We are very, very blessed. We realize that it could have been a lot worse. So, again, just thank you so much for your prayers and well wishes. All right, so to go along with this, I made some scrambled eggs. I've shared how I make this before on my channel. All I do is take eggs, whisk them up with a fork, add a little bit of milk, and then I like to add some Tony Chachere's, and then I just cook them low and slow in a skillet with a little bit of butter. It's time to cook the pancakes, so I have this little griddle skillet over about medium heat. I'm going to add some butter and then add my pancake batter, if I could talk, in 1/4 cup measurements. And then I'm just going to cook these until the pancakes start to bubble and they get brown on the first side. And then I'll flip them over and cook them until they're nice and golden brown on the second side, and they'll be done. Here are the finished scrambled eggs. Now, normally at this point, I will take some out for myself and add some cheese for my husband. But, I did good enough to get this what I made done. So I was not about to add some cheese to those eggs. I know that sounds silly, but when I thought about it, I was like, no. So to serve these up, I just added some butter to the pancakes. We had some maple syrup with it. We had some fresh fruit, and then we've got our bacon and eggs. And this was dinner this night, and those pancakes were really, really good. This will be my go-to recipe from now on for pancakes. For dinner the next night, we DoorDashed Cracker Barrel. I felt like absolute crud this day, and cooking was a hard pass. And I just wanted something comforting and homey. So I got their chicken strip dinner with macaroni and cheese and hash brown casserole. And I got my husband their fried chicken with, what sides did I get him? Hash brown casserole and turnip greens. And that was our dinner this night. For dinner the next night, I made Greek chicken and orzo salad. I've shared both of these before on my channel, but they're some of our favorites. They're both really easy, and especially when I worked outside of the home, I loved making this orzo salad, and I would take it to work throughout the week for lunches. This recipe I got from Jeff Morrow from the Food Network years ago. I've made it many times. I'll have it linked in the description box below. To get started, I have this skillet. It's over about medium heat. I've added a little bit of olive oil. I'm adding a can of garbanzo beans or chickpeas that I drained and rinsed really well. I'm going to sprinkle them with some za'atar seasoning and salt and cook them for maybe about 3 to 5 minutes until they're toasted. Now, if you don't have any za'atar seasoning, no worries at all. I made this for years and didn't have it. I would just suggest you using your favorite Greek seasoning. And honestly, there have even been some times where I've been lazy and not toasted the chickpeas and just put them into the salad, just drained and rinsed. That's absolutely fine as well. It still turns out delicious. In this bowl, I have some cooked orzo pasta. I cooked this in some salted water according to the package instructions and drained it. I'm adding some chopped up English cucumber as well as some Roma tomato. The recipe called for red onion, but that was a no. I just cut it. It's weird, like what I felt like. I'm just not exerting the energy for that. My bowl was a little small, so I just switched bowls real quick. Gave that a stir, and then I added in the chickpeas. And I don't know if you saw that or not. I only used half the skillet. I have the recipe, but the other half, they make a tasty little snack. So for the dressing, we're using some of the Greek Hidden Valley Ranch dressing. I'm going to add in some lemon zest and juice. Give that a stir, and then I'm going to add in the feta cheese. And I forgot to mention the recipe also calls for black olives. I didn't have any on hand this day, so I just skipped it. Now, I gave the salad a taste at this point. I felt like it needed a little salt and pepper and just a tiny little bit more dressing. So I'm going to add that, stir it one last time, and then I'm going to cover this with a lid and place this into the refrigerator until we're ready to eat. You can eat this right away. You can bake your chicken, cook it in the air fryer, grill it. Tonight, I'm going to cook it on top of the stove. In this skillet, it's over about medium. It's between medium and medium high. There's some olive oil in this skillet and a little bit of butter. I seasoned the first side of the chicken, placed it into the skillet, and I'm going to season the top side. I'm using some Cavender's and Badia, however you say it, complete seasoning. Use whatever seasonings you like. I'm going to cook this for maybe 5 to 6 minutes, flip it over, and then cook it for another 5 or 6 minutes on each side until the chicken is 165 degrees internal temperature. Once it's cooked, I'm going to allow it to rest for about 5 minutes before I cut into it. And this is what the finished chicken looks like. This was so tender and flavorful and juicy, so good. And then here is the finished orzo salad. Next, I'll show you our plates. All right, here are the plates. I just sliced the chicken, added some of the pasta salad, and then to kind of garnish the salad, I added a little more feta cheese and some extra chickpeas. And then for my husband's plate, which is on the left, while I was in the refrigerator, I noticed that we had from a charcuterie board we did a couple nights before this, we had just a few little olives and some sun-dried tomatoes left over, so I just placed that on his plate just to kind of use that up. But this was dinner this night. We had leftovers for a couple days for lunch. So yummy. I recommend you all give these recipes a try. For dinner the next night, I made brown sugar bacon chicken. Got this from Tamara over at Southern Wife Everyday Life. I think she calls it brown sugar chili chicken or something like that. Whatever you want to call it, this is delicious. If you have not given this a try, stop what you're doing right now. Add this to your meal plan. This is so easy and it is delicious. So like I said, I'll have her video linked in the description box below. We made it one other time before and I definitely wanted to make it again. For my side dish, I'm making my cheesy broccoli rice casserole. I've shared this before on my channel. It has a separate video. I'll have it linked in the description box below, but this is a family favorite. Here's what I use to make it. I've got some instant rice and water. How much water you need depends on the package instructions to your instant rice. Usually it's a 1-to-1 ratio, but just double check. I've got some salt and pepper, frozen broccoli, a can of cream of mushroom soup. If you don't like cream of mushroom, you can use whatever cream of soup you do like. And then for the cheese, sometimes I use Cheese Whiz or Velveeta, just depends on what I have on hand. Today I'm using 2 packets of the Velveeta cheese sauce. And then normally I will cook some chopped onions and a little bit of butter and add that. Didn't feel like messing with that tonight, so I'm just using some onion powder. Basically, all you do is cook the instant rice with the water according to the package instructions. Cook the broccoli in your microwave according to the package instructions, and then just mix everything together. Place it into a greased casserole dish, and you bake this in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. For tonight, though, I baked it at 375 for about 25 minutes just so that it could cook at the same temperature that the chicken cooked. All right, so for the chicken, in a small bowl, I just use a plastic bowl, I'm going to combine some chili powder and brown sugar. I eyeball it, but like I said, I'll have Tamara's recipe linked below. I'm going to take my chicken tenders. I'm going to wrap them with a piece of bacon, dip them in the chili brown sugar mixture, and then here I have a sheet pan with some aluminum foil and then a wire rack on top of it. I would recommend you using the aluminum foil. The sugar can get really caramelized and sticky. So this is going to go into the preheated oven. Again, I had my oven set at 375 degrees. I baked these for about 18 to 20 minutes. You just want to make sure that you cook them until the chicken is at least 165 degrees internal temperature. Here's the finished chicken, and then the cheesy broccoli rice casserole. And then to go along with this, I made some glazed carrots. Shared this many times before. Just take canned carrots, strain it, add some butter, a little bit of honey, brown sugar, salt, and pepper, and cook those on low until they're warmed all the way through. Here's a picture of our plate. I cannot even begin to tell you how delicious this was. Dinner totally hit the spot. We had leftovers for lunch. So good. The next day was Cinco de Mayo, and I didn't make anything really authentic, but more Tex-Mex, but it was still delicious. I made chicken tacos. I've shared this before. This is so easy. All you do is take chicken. I had some a combination of chicken tenders and chicken breasts. I just added them to a crock pot with a tiny little bit of water or chicken broth, and then I add taco seasoning and dry ranch dressing mix. Cover that with a lid and cooked this on low for about 4 to 6 hours until the chicken is cooked all the way through, again, to at least 165 degrees internal temperature, and it's easily shreddable. So I removed the juices, shredded the chicken, added it back to the crock pot, and just kept that warm until dinner was ready. So for the tacos, I've got the shredded chicken, and then I'm using some little fajita-sized tortillas. We've got some taco sauce, sour cream, pico de gallo, and some shredded cheddar cheese. Of course, use whatever toppings you and your family like. I also washed and cut up some lettuce. Keeping the side for the tacos really easy. In this little pot here, I have a can of these Bush's beans. These are the Taco Fiesta. I literally just put them in the pot and I'm going to warm them up. So I also made some queso. I was just really craving queso. I kind of tried a new recipe. I have the recipe that I kind of went from in the description box below. I didn't follow it exactly. In this crock pot, I have about a half a block of just Kroger brand Queso Blanco, along with about 6 or 8 ounces of regular yellow Velveeta, a can of Rotel, maybe about a quarter cup of pico de gallo, and then I have about 2 tablespoons of taco sauce, about a quarter cup of salsa verde, and then, or verde, sorry, however you pronounce that. And then I also added in about 2 tablespoons of Coca-Cola, which I know sounds really weird, but that was the recipe that I was using. It's a Copycat Cafe Rio recipe. I just added everything to the crock pot and cooked it on low for a couple hours, and that queso was yummy. It was good. All right, so here's the finished plates. We just have the tacos, the fixins, along with some of the beans, and then my husband had some of the chips and queso, and that was dinner this night. Oh, and real quick, those tortilla chips are from Kroger. They were like a taquiera kind. I was really trying to find something that tastes like tortilla chips that you get like at a Mexican restaurant, and these were really close. They were good, so I'll try those again. If you see those, give those a try. For the last dinner in this week's video, I made biscuits and gravy. It just sounded good to me. I've been craving it. So for the biscuits, I used this Southern biscuit mix. I saw this on Collard Valley Cooks, and I tried it for the first time a couple months ago, and they were delicious. I get this little bag at Food Lion. You can also find it, though, in sizes like what you get flour or sugar. So I just bake these according to the package instructions, and like I said, I highly recommend that mix. If you all see it, try it. And then to go along with the biscuits, of course, I made some sausage gravy. I took a couple of the frozen sausage patties from Walmart, popped them in the air fryer for a few minutes, and then chopped them up. I added them to a skillet with a little bit of oil, heated that up, and then added in some flour, whisked the flour and cooked it for a minute, whisked in my milk, added some salt and pepper. I think I've shared my gravy before on my channel. I'm pretty sure I have. I'll find the video and link it in the description box below. But this was my dinner. So incredibly delicious. My husband this night, I think he made himself some of like the packaged yakisoba. I think that's what he had for dinner this night. All right, that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.